You're listening to the Medic Materials Podcast, hosted by Mike Turek, Emily Yates, Kelsey Coons, and Gerard Cuomo. All are current EMS providers and educators with a combined 30 years experience. Each month we discuss EMS news, medical science, and review actual EMS calls, bringing many educational opportunities to the listener. Portions of the calls have been altered to protect the privacy and identity of all involved.
Gerard, I'm leaving that in. Yes, it's recording, and I'm leaving it in. I don't care. Hello and welcome, everyone. That is Gerard's disdain for his own voice, what you just heard.
Nails on a chalkboard.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant watching that every single time we sit down. It's brilliant.
Is he having a seizure? Does it sound like the sound of his voice?
Just a TIA.
Yeah. Oh,
We sit on something. Wasn't enjoyable.
Oh, God. So, yeah, we're here with Gerard, Emily, and paramedic intern Kelsey. And it is December 15th. We're going to be kind of piggybacking the conversation that we had on December 1st, Emily. I know Kelly took your spot in that one. So that's
She was a tour de force.
Yeah, she was brilliant.
She is.
She really was brilliant.
She really is. Star of the show.
Yep.
Always. And we're going to kind of continue the conversation with cardiac arrests by reviewing a cardiac arrest. So I'm going to, give you guys the gist of the call before we even start talking about it. So you guys can kind of think, what would you do in cardiac arrest kind of situation? So, Kelsey, let's go to your rig check. And Gerard, I'm going to be quiet.
Okay. I'll be quiet, too.
Well, you always make fun of me that I'm never quiet during a rig check.
That's
so now
true.
I'm going to be
I
fucking
just
quiet.
can't even start my rig check.
Shut up, Kelsey.
Okay, guys, so if anybody is looking... Ahem.
What?
Just breaking the soundboard over here.
I'm sorry. Yep.
Okay, guys, if anybody is looking for a last-minute holiday gift for your favorite EMS provider, we have a partnership with Leatherman available to you. By using the link below, a portion of your purchase will go to the Medic Materials at no extra cost for you, just in time for the holiday season. If you want a gift that keeps on giving throughout the next year, become a Patreon member and get extra perks. You've already missed out on 5 episodes and don't want to miss out on any upcoming ones in the new year of 2022. And today, we would like to shout out everyone in Kentucky, Mississippi, Arkansas, Illinois, Missouri, and Tennessee. Our thoughts and well wishes go out to all those rebuilding after the tornadoes hit, and especially to all the first responders working overtime to be there for their community. Good luck with everything, guys. And I feel like it's really important to note that a lot of these people out in the Midwest, I mean, it's a tragedy, but at the same time, like, a lot of the communities come together really well. I remember when my aunt was hit really bad in Louisiana with a tornado, she sent all of the family this video of her Skechers. Because the Skechers were the shoes that she put on before she left her house, and that was how she told everybody that she was all right. She sent everybody a video of her, like, preaching to Skechers, and Skechers sent her a free pair of shoes.
Oh,
That's cool.
that's awesome.
All right, so anybody out there that needs some free shit?
Yeah.
Right?
But
Throw on your Skechers.
throw on your Skechers, send a video, but
And
no,
see, you're
seriously.
just as bad.
I'm going right
These-
to
Yeah,
fucking
see, you're
hell.
just as bad. Fuck you.
Yeah.
These people in these states really
Yeah.
do band together really well when times like this occur. So.
So from the not nice.
There's a warm spot for me in hell. I know it.
It's warming up, preheating.
Yep.
He's waiting.
Mhm.
It's only a matter of time.
Only a matter of time. So sad.
Mm.
Anywho, So-
what are you going to do?
well, and that's it.
At least I won't be cold. Like your basement.
It's not cold.
Fair. Yes,
My
it
toesies
is.
are cold.
No, I'm comfortable. This is good.
I was gonna say, I'm hot.
My toesies are cold.
I'm sorry.
Should have put fuzzy socks on.
Yeah, same.
And just hear the channels changing now.
Seriously, I'm gonna edit all of this out.
You probably should.
So let's get into this call review. As I noted earlier, it is going to be a cardiac arrest, so start thinking along those lines. So this is a system that has in place a rural private ambulance company that typically runs 2 ALS ambulances, each typically staffed with an EMT basic and a paramedic. However, today, one of the crews has a third member, which is a new hire EMT basic. So they're running 2 EMTs and a paramedic. Local hospitals, there is a community hospital around 15 minutes away from this scene, and there's 2 cardiac specialty centers around 30 minutes from the scene. As we've already established, you dispatch echo priority for a 59-year-old male cardiac arrest. The county also dispatches the local fire department, first responders, and the local police to the scene. So both ALS crews call en route to the call, and the primary crew arrives. They're met in the driveway by the patient's wife. She frantically tells them that her husband's not breathing, and her brother is inside the house performing CPR. She further tells EMS that her husband went to lay down for the night. She heard him vomiting in the bedroom, and then when she came in to check on him, he was pulseless, not breathing. This is when the brother was called in, who's, I guess, visiting. He began CPR, and she called 911. So hearing this kind of story from the wife, what kind of things are you guys automatically starting to think about just walking from the driveway into the home?
Oh, they look at me.
Everyone
you have
looks
to start
at you.
it.
Yeah.
I don't
Kind of
know.
how it works.
I mean, it still could be anything.
I mean, we're being dispatched for
Vomiting,
cardiac
like,
arrest. He was vomiting before. CPR is in progress. I'm thinking, yeah, he probably had an MI. That's what, the vomiting preceded it. So, I mean, it's probably legit.
Right.
We're not going to walk in.
I mean, the thing is, too, though, vomiting is a symptom of 10 million things.
Right, but I mean, when you take it into, okay, they're in cardiac arrest. Okay, well, he was vomiting before. I mean, I've had plenty where you get there and they're like, oh, yeah, there's a nice big pile of puke.
I was
It just
thinking
preceded the...
about the pile of puke. That's going to be a pain in the butt.
It could be, depending on where it is.
well, just remember...
I mean,
Probably
how
the first
long
thing that
from
came
the-
into my mind.
How long from the time she heard the vomiting to the time that they found him not breathing?
Like 5 minutes.
So it's
If
quick,
that.
so
Very quick.
could be.
Yeah.
I'm
You
buying
know.
it.
Okay.
I mean, we don't really have any other information to go on.
Yeah,
it's
I mean-
not like...
Well, and that's
You know,
it. We
she's on
haven't
shoot
seen
up
the
or something
patient
like
yet.
that,
Right,
yeah.
right. And we don't know exactly. So the primary crew enters the bedroom, and they find the gentleman laying supine on the floor with the brother performing hands-only layperson CPR.
Kudos.
Whatever. Kudos that you're on the floor.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah,
So you're
honestly.
not in the bed.
I'm
Yes.
sitting here thinking, oh, he went to bed, he vomited,
And
then
now he's doing
CPR. And
compressions
I'm
in the
like,
bed.
yep.
And yeah.
And he's on the bed, and we're going to walk in and we're going to hear, come on.
But how
Cue
many
the porn
times?
music.
How many times
Yeah.
have we walked into countless places, especially nursing homes,
Right.
where you walk in and they're doing it on the bed, and you're just like, really, people, really?
I thought
Think
we
for a
were
minute.
better than that.
Think for a minute.
I was just going to ask you to rephrase that, but okay.
No. I want you to
That was
think
a
of them
horrible-
doing it on the bed.
With their UTIs.
What are you, 12?
Yeah.
Yes, he
Do
is.
you know me?
He's got the
Have
face
you
to
met?
match.
Have you,
That was a good one.
That was a good one.
wow.
I made
All
up.
right.
I made up for the earlier one with that one.
Yeah, you did. That was a good one. You got me.
So the
She's on point tonight.
she really is. She really
She
is.
dropped the F-bomb. you
Uh-huh.
know.
Twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dad.
Yeah.
Have you heard my dad? Sorry, Dad.
Soon she will feel the power of the dark side.
No macho man. All right. Don't go that bad. So the primary EMT gets down, checks for a carotid pulse, and finds none. There's also no evidence of active breathing. They ask the brother to move aside, and they take the Lucas device and help with the help of the new hire EMT, place the Lucas. So the Lucas is kind of a
I have a question.
already.
I do.
Damn.
Do we know
How's it-
anything about this new hire? Like, is it, first day, or like, are they a pretty competent new hire? Or are they just going to get in the way?
I have no clue.
No.
I did not ask
wanted
that
to
when
know
this
that.
was given to me.
All new hires are competent. Stop.
Well, if it's their first day, this
That's
just
a
could be
lie.
scary for them.
This is
Maury
me.
pulled out his envelope and went, "Bitch, that's a lie."
That's right, Jerry.
So we are recording way late at night, and this is what happens.
This shows.
This
After a long
is-
day at work.
Yep, drinking. Minus Kelsey,
This
because
is gonna be a good one.
You can't have any. You're too young. So, Lucas devices, I think, have revolutionized cardiac arrest. They're amazing.
100%.
For those that don't know what they are, they're just mechanical CPR devices. They are literally the best thing ever. So the new hire EMT, after helping with the placement of the Lucas, moves to the head and takes over airway control.
Perfect.
Cool.
She already has bonus, or he or she has bonus points in my book because they're not a
It's a she.
wallflower.
Right.
That's why I think she's a she.
There's no
no, it's because
clipboard.
airways my jam.
Yeah, same.
That's why it's a she.
It's a she.
Okay.
No clipboard involved. Nothing
No.
like that.
Yeah,
Just
not a wallflower. You
just
jumped right in.
straight to
Kudos.
Yeah. So currently the gentleman has a non-protected, unsecured airway. There is no secretions, fluid, or debris in the airway that the new EMT can find.
Pretty good for recently vomiting.
Yep. Which you would think maybe, if they went unconscious afterwards, there might be some aspiration, some suctioning needed. Not in this case. The EMT sizes and places an OPA, and they begin to ventilate the patient with a BVM placed at 10 liters oxygen. 2 breaths every 30 compressions, just like they're supposed to. So during that time, the paramedic connects the cardiac monitor via the defibrillator pads, and the initial rhythm shows asystole. The paramedic then places a IO to the right tibial plateau. A 1,000 ml bag of normal saline is connected and placed in a pressure infuser. There you go. The first epinephrine, 1 to 10,000, 1 milligram, is given via the IO. At this point in time, the second ALS crew arrives, along with the fire department first responders. So,
How did the fire department get
Wow.
there later?
So much for first responding.
Wow.
That never happens.
Damn.
seriously,
In reality, that never happens.
Yeah. Wow.
like, ouch.
I didn't even do that.
It's in their name.
And the fire department first responders.
Third responder.
It's in their name. Third responder. Okay.
Maybe they were,
Napping.
I don't know, watching fucking Backdraft and
Have at it. Keep
Who
it
knows?
on. I don't
Stop!
care.
Stop before you say something completely inappropriate.
I
We all
was.
know what they do when backdrops stop.
I figured there was a white bottle nearby,
A stuffed animal.
A stu-
Yeah.
a couple rags.
Yeah, right.
You never know.
Oh, God.
Smoothbore nozzle.
I wish I could mute you guys.
No, you don't.
So does everybody else.
No, they don't.
So I'm trying to play devil's advocate. Are they a paid department or are they like a volunteer?
They're a volunteer
Okay,
department.
so they're coming out in the middle of the night. I'm assuming this is nighttime or
I don't know.
He
I don't
went to bed, right?
He went to, yeah.
So-
Well, they
That
just
doesn't
say he
mean
went
jack.
down. He just went down, to sleep. So
Well,
who
whatever,
knows?
whatever the case may be, they're
He
coming
didn't
out.
feel well. Maybe he went down in the middle of the day.
Right. Okay. But I mean, the case may be they're coming from their homes out of the kindness of their
Or
heart.
from their jobs.
Or
I'm
their
not
jobs,
I'm
right.
not faulting them. I'm just third responders.
She was just making a joke.
Come on.
I got.
Apparently we're both feeling a little
Show's,
fiery tonight.
show's terrible.
We've entered Bizarro world. I'm sitting
Seriously.
here like totally like, hey, give the firemen a break, They're not doing foot only CPR.
Yet.
Yeah.
So,
Give them time.
So-
This
okay.
is on.
so
Right, you
Brandon,
know how many firemen probably hate us right now?
that's okay. All of
It's
the
all in good
deserved.
fun.
all of the EMTs and paramedics that think like us are going,
Mm.
yeah, I get what they're saying. So moving back, more providers are now arriving, right? What are you guys gonna be like? How would you now manage the scene, instructing all of these new providers coming into the scene?
That's kind of where I was going. I was we've got
You have two
a
on the
a
second
ton of
ALS
personnel.
crew.
So now
Right.
somebody needs to take the step back. I would say the initial lead medic or something should take that
Yes.
step back and become the scene manager.
Yes.
So that's one of the
basically-
things that drives me insane about pre-hospital like BLS classes is they're like, oh, they teach it as if you're in the hospital. Okay, you have 6 tasks that you need to give out.
Right.
Well, there's 2 fucking people, so
Right.
how do you want me to do that?
Right.
But now you actually have the opportunity to.
I also feel like, especially now that you have that second crew from that same agency, I'm assuming that you partner well enough and work well enough together that one of them is competent enough to go figure out some sort of history.
But you
You'd
could
hope.
also task
Hope springs
one of the
eternal.
first
You could do
responders
that-
to do that.
exactly.
It also,
Yeah,
they can go ask
Right.
what meds they're on, what history they have, get demographics,
Right.
all that stuff. You don't need a provider. I actually probably wouldn't take a provider away from the scene to do that.
Yeah.
I would
Use
totally,
a fireman,
yeah.
use a police officer,
Yeah.
whatever.
And not
Yeah,
to like get somebody out of the room to go do that.
Yeah.
But I mean, all that aside, I mean, somebody has to take that role and step back and say, okay, now I'm going to bark orders.
I'm with you. I think like the lead provider
Right.
is now the command.
Right.
And
exactly.
we kind of talked about it the last episode in that, there's a time where you are allowed to step back and look at the bigger picture. You were always
Right.
talking. You look at the bigger picture, you look at the monitor, and you just go, okay, one assess, many do my task.
Right.
One assess, many treat.
Delegate.
And you sit there and go, okay, we're coming up to an epi. Hey, second medic, you're going to push it right now.
And I know for me,
You know?
and no matter, I don't care if it's a brand new medic or, seasoned veteran. If I'm showing up as, a third or second responder to a scene, walking in, the first thing I'm going to say is, what do you need?
Right.
Yep.
I don't care if I'm
What
senior
do you
to
got?
them
What do
or,
you need?
Whatever. What do you need?
But then take the
You know,
direction.
where are we? Yeah.
So when I look at you and say you're doing medications, and I
Bingo.
say, hey, we
Done.
need an
That's
epi,
it.
I don't have to think
No
twice.
question. Yep.
You're doing it.
No
Right.
question. Yep.
And that provider should, whatever the lead provider is telling that other provider, don't argue like,
No.
oh no, I'm not giving meds.
Right.
Like I want to do this. No, fuck off.
No,
the
you-
primary,
Right. This
Right.
isn't your call.
right. The primary said you're doing this, so just
Right.
do it.
Yeah. Yep.
And do it right.
Yeah, I'm on it. Okay.
Right. So they do a rhythm check. Still no shock advised. Asystole on the monitor. The resuscitation is continued for another 9 minutes. In that time, the crew gave 2 more epis, 1 to 10,000, 1 milligram, and no shock advised with continuing asystole. Okay. The secondary EMT obtains a blood glucose, Emily, and
Praise.
returns as 350 milligrams per deciliter.
We need a hallelujah sound effect.
Seriously, I don't.
Hallelujah.
Am I allowed to
Hallelujah.
use the
Yes.
the Macho
Yes.
Man for that?
There you go.
Kudos.
Macho likes the
That was appropriate.
But hold on, though, because in all seriousness, you're just over 10 minutes into this, and they're going through their H's and T's.
Yes.
So kudos.
Yeah,
Yep.
right on.
I like what they're doing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same.
And the secondary paramedic takes the opportunity in this time to successfully place a King Airway on the first pass.
Kudos.
Bippity-doop.
Due to now having the advanced airway in place, the Lucas is switched from the 30 and 2 to continuous compressions.
I have a question.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on asynchronous breathing versus one breath every 5 seconds when it comes to advanced airway being placed during a cardiac arrest?
What does ACLS say? Because that's ultimately what you follow.
I don't know. I haven't taken ACLS yet.
But they taught you nothing in paramedic class, apparently.
Wait, ACLS is the first thing I do on January 24th. Come back on January 24th.
Hey, she's pounding the table now.
Seriously. What did you do to her?
Right? Oh my God.
It's the ice cream and the coffee all in one
I
day.
have a child.
No, so ACLS is very specific in the fact that they are, 30 compressions, 2 ventilations, 1 breath every 5 to 6 seconds with continuous. They're very, it's cut and dry. And
I'm
that's
like totally planning my reveal party while you're talking. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
so the second medic is then instructed by the primary medic, who did take that step back, to administer 50 milliequivalents of sodium bicarb,
Nice.
which they do through the IO. Cool. They've already given 3 EPIs.
Oh no,
This
she's
is-
getting the eye roll for the bicarb.
Oh, what?
Eye roll
Sure.
on the bicarb.
Sure.
What is your objection to
it's-
the bicarb?
What's the goal?
Make the epi more effective, I guess.
And how long does that take?
It can't hurt. Could help.
I agree. I mean, that's why I'm
We're
giving
in
an
a-
eye
the
roll,
body's-
and it
body's
is what
in
it
an
is.
acidotic state. Let's help
How
a
long
little.
does bicarb take to
Eh,
kick in?
If you're ventilating properly, you're looking at 10, 15
yeah,
minutes.
something like that.
Okay.
it's still early. They didn't do it at 25, 30 minutes into the resuscitation.
Okay, I don't disagree. I just think it's a wasted effort. But you know what? Kudos. I believe that's still an ACLS.
It is. And we talked about, Kelly even brought it up in the last episode. Should have been here.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And
hockey, guys, hockey.
It was a hell of a point.
it was great. She brought up the fact that we do the medications in an effort to get a better outcome once there is ROSC.
Right.
So if your epi is just stalling because it's in an acidotic environment, you're not going to have a blood pressure once you come out of it. Give them the bicarb, ventilate properly, hopes that maybe you get a shot.
If you're doing quality CPR and quality ventilations, they weren't down that long. How acidotic are they really?
It all depends.
Were they acidotic before that? Were they vomiting because they were hyperkalemic and their body's naturally trying to get the potassium out?
Exactly.
Who knows? I don't disagree with the bicarb. Sure. It's neither here nor there for me.
I will admit there's a lot of literature that does not support bicarb.
Yeah.
There's a lot of literature that does.
I agree.
It's one of those things. It's like calcium for me. Why are we I have never once given calcium in a cardiac arrest. My father-in-law sits there and goes, "Well, why not?"
I would give calcium before I give bicarb. But I have to tell you, if you finish the scenario and they call it within the next 10 minutes, I'm going to be pissed they give bicarb.
I'm sorry.
You sound like an administrator. You just cost us money.
It's not that. You didn't even give the bicarb a chance to work. So why bother?
I got you. No, I feel you. But
we're just playing devil's advocate. That's all.
I am of the mindset where I still, if I get a round or two in and I get a chance, I throw a bicarb in. It's just
I will fight tooth and nail when somebody's like, "All right, we're going to give a bicarb and call it." Well, what the fuck is the point? Just call it.
Yeah, don't
Yes.
don't
That's
give
what
it
I'm
and
saying.
call
You
it.
still have to resuscitate afterwards. Yes.
That's what I'm saying on this. If you're going to call this in the next 10 minutes,
You're yelling at me.
it's going to
Stop
piss
it.
me off. This is how strongly I feel about Gerard and his UTIs.
Oh, shit.
No, the worst was the blood glucose text I sent her the other day.
Oh my God.
So, 3 minutes after the bicarb is given, the fourth epi, 1 to 10,000 is given. 1 minute later, there's a rhythm change on the monitor. Asystole transitions to a sinus tach at a rate of 103.
Do we have a pulse to go with it?
Yes.
Nice.
Hey.
So it seems as if ROSC has been obtained, right? What are your guys' first thing that these providers need to be doing now that ROSC has been obtained?
4 lead and a blood pressure.
12 lead and blood pressure. Yeah.
Okay. Full set of vitals, 12 lead.
I might actually have someone else in the room who's of my level get on the phone. Let's get a doc on the phone. Stand by for orders for whatever your ROSC medication is, like amiodarone or lidocaine, something like that. Whatever.
You need orders for that?
We need orders for
in our area.
really?
Yeah. Actually,
I didn't know that.
So
I was going to say, like, whoever's giving the epi needs to start the anti-drip.
That's what I was
Yep,
thinking.
You need orders.
And I've
There was
well, you know what? Fuck it. I can do other things for a living. I've done it before and then called, just because it's kind of time sensitive.
I think everybody's done that.
But
this was an
What other things exactly?
what?
You said I could do other things.
For a living.
Yeah, what?
What's the backup career?
I don't want to know.
Strippogram?
I know what you could do. You could be a spokesman for
Stone Cold Steve Austin's Broken Skull IPA.
You don't like listening to yourself. You couldn't do that.
That's true.
I don't have to listen. I just got to drink it.
That's true. So yeah, I completely agree that, a full set of vital signs and a slowdown needs to happen.
Agreed.
Like, this is not the time where, oh man, Ross, cool, throw him on the stretcher and get going.
Right.
Because then they're just going to die again. Like,
That's
as soon as we move them.
Post-ROSC management.
Right. It's the time to slow down and really think, okay, let me get my 12 lead.
Right.
Let me see if this is cardiac in origin.
Right.
Let me get a full set of vital signs. Do I need extra meds? Do I need to call a doc? Really slow down.
Yeah.
Once you know that transitioning them is not going to recode them,
Then
move
you go.
them.
Yes.
Then you go. It's not, let me wait for an hour, but maybe it's 10 minutes. Maybe it's, 15, whatever
That
it might
bicarb
be.
will kick in then.
Yeah.
Right.
You never know.
Then you're going to be like, wow, I'm glad I put that bicarb in.
Never in my life have I ever said that. Ever.
I mean, technically on scene, you've never given a bicarb, so.
Never.
Damn.
Never. I'll admit to that.
So, vital signs are taken. Vital signs are taken. BP via the NIBP cuff returns as 93 over 47. Heart rate's a sinus tach at 151. Respiratory rate is 10 via the BVM with supplemental oxygen at 100% oxygen saturation. The first saline bag they find has been completed, so the secondary paramedic connects and hangs a second 1,000 bag of normal saline. At this time, more status paramedicus arrives.
Joy.
The shift supervisor decides to show up on scene, help out. It's also a paramagician.
Here, hold the saline bag.
Seriously.
Squeeze hard.
Squeeze.
Well, it's already on a pressure infuser, so, I mean, really.
They'd
Stand
still
there,
do
look
it.
pretty. Oh, I
They'd
know that.
still do it.
I totally know they would. So, they're instructed by the primary medic to call medical control and secure orders for Levophed, amiodarone, and don't hurt me. It's their call, not
Bicarb.
mine. More bicarb.
You know what? I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree. They didn't push it, wait 3 minutes and call it.
That's true.
Right.
It's very true.
Right.
I don't disagree with it.
Can I say my fun fact about bicarb?
I don't care.
We actually severely underdose bicarb because bicarb's dose technically is 1 milliequivalent per kilo.
Kilo, yeah.
Mhm.
So I would be the only person that would fit an actual amp of bicarb.
Yep.
Which is also what pisses me off about them. Like, we have to give the bicarb. You're not even giving enough.
So 2 amps of bicarb. That's all I got.
Yep. Damn.
And then no drip for you.
It's not like we're going to do a bicarb drip. Please. Bitch, please.
I did one.
Nope.
I did one.
See?
Tractor trailer rollover.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
different.
That is different. But
Oh, I know.
I mean, that
And
is
it
where
still
you
wasn't
would do
enough
it.
bicarb.
I set it up and got it going, but I mean, it
I was
was
gonna
them
say,
telling
still
me
not
what to do.
enough, though.
That's
Right.
still not enough
Yeah, I
bicarb.
know.
Yep. The physician gives the crew orders for 300 of amiodarone, a Levophed drip, and another 50 milliequivalents of the sodium bicarb. Are you guys okay with the orders in this situation?
Can
I
you say
know-
them again?
300 of amiodarone, 300 milligrams of
Yes.
amiodarone.
Now, is he saying up to 300 milligrams
No, this
in a
is
drip?
no, this is
Because our
Push it through.
protocol is 150 in a drip.
correct. So
Post ROSC.
our protocol post ROSC, because they're alive, is 150 in a drip.
That's what I'm just
Right.
saying. I'm just
when
curious.
they're when they're dead, it's
Right.
300.
300,
Correct.
yeah.
Right? When they're alive, it's 150.
Right, correct.
At least for us.
Right.
Right.
That's why I was just curious because we've got ROSC now.
Right.
So
So it should be 150.
Right.
Right? This was given as 300 milligrams amiodarone.
okay.
Like a push or a drip?
Don't know.
Good job, supervisor. We didn't ask questions.
Right? This is one of the issues that these guys ran into. The Levophed drip, which again, that was just said, okay, start a Levophed drip, and another 50 milliequivalents of the sodium bicarb.
Okay.
Okay? Again, are we okay with these?
I'm very confused on the AMI, but that's okay.
Yeah, and I mean, just like I said, I mean, if it was, doctor saying, hey, I'm going to authorize you up to 300 milligrams total.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And however we decide to give it, whatever, as long as we follow our protocol.
Isn't our protocol 150 and then 300?
No, it's
300, then
300, then 150,
Or,
and
I'm
then
sorry.
150 as a drip. If you get
Oh, so you
ROSC.
can do 2 150s.
Right, so if you deliver a shock, you give them 300. You give another one, it's 150.
Right.
And then if you get ROSC,
It's
150 in a
150.
bag.
It's
That is not the same in the hospital.
so
You still
So
have
I
to call
actually
for that.
would
Yeah.
not necessarily be that concerned about a 300. order.
so when they're dead, we can give 300 without
Without
orders.
asking, yeah.
Yeah.
Without
No,
orders. Once they
that's an
become
ACLS.
alive, then it's like, okay,
A
I want my
150 drip.
150 in my drip.
Right.
You
You
know,
gotta call for that.
That's why
Right.
I'm just curious, what the order was for.
Right.
Is it
hey,
150 and 150
Right.
or is it
Like-
300? Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. I'm confused on those orders.
The minion didn't ask.
and that was it. So there was no clarification given to this
Okay.
primary paramedic. And we'll touch base on why I think the whole concept of giving the orders to somebody else was a terrible idea.
Okay.
So another blood pressure is taken. It's now 74 over 43.
Woo. we're dropping.
So we had about
Increase
a
the
20-point drop. They haven't even started Levo. They
really?
just got the orders for it.
Gotcha.
Heart rate is now sinus at 96.
So we're starting to trend
So
downward,
it
and
was
the epi's wearing off.
It was
50?
151, right? And a last blood pressure of 93/47. So you lost about 20 points.
Heart's damaged, man.
Right.
That and the epi's starting to wear off.
Right.
Oxygen saturation still 100%. Cool. So he's then moved to the Reeves and secured. They don't move him from the house at this point in time. 4 milligrams of Levophed is mixed into 1,000 bag of normal saline.
Yeah, 4-1.
It's set at a rate of 10 micrograms per minute. It's given through the IO line, piggyback to the first bag that's already hanging.
The first bag that's done.
No, the second bag, right?
The second bag
Okay.
that's
Like what?
the first line that was
Right,
there.
right. The normal
Yes.
saline is still running, and we're piggybacking.
Did they
Right.
label it?
I don't know.
I do.
I mean, most people
not
should.
Smart. I'm not smart enough to remember that shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So another BP's taken. It's now 132/75. So we got a little bump. Cool. Heart rate of 128 back to sinus tack. Saturations are still 100% via the BVM ventilations with
These are
oxygen.
looking good.
So we're looking good, right? What haven't they done yet?
12 lead.
12 lead.
12 lead, yeah.
Guess what? They don't ever do one.
Oh.
No shit.
Yeah. They don't
Wow.
ever do one here.
That doesn't really help.
No. So the secondary
Did they
medic.
at least get a 4 lead? Can I get anything?
Nope. You got sinus tack.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what you're getting right now.
You get nothing.
You get nothing.
What?
So right now, I don't know whether they put them on the 4 lead. They might still be using the pads
The pads.
as their source.
Yeah, I'm
don't know
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to put myself in the situation, and you're drawing up meds, you're doing something.
But they got hands up the wazoo.
Right, and that's
That
the other
sounds
thing I'm
bad.
thinking of. I
And,
mean,
like-
an EMT can set up a 12 lead.
Go through your H's and
you know?
T's.
Right. Right.
I'm not disagreeing.
Like I said, I'm just trying to figure out why
You're
they
fighting a
wouldn't do
losing
it.
battle because you don't know what you're fighting yet.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Bingo.
Yep. So the secondary medic is instructed by the primary medic to take the orders, since they're all given the orders from the supervisor, to take the orders of the amiodarone and administer it. So the secondary.
How are they administering this?
Well, if you
300
shut
ammo.
up, I'm just going to tell you.
Fine.
We're getting a little feisty tonight.
This is what happens when we record at night.
This is exactly what happens. So the secondary medic administers the full 300 of amiodarone, straight push into the IO. They choose not to mix it.
Why do I feel like that's
And
going to do
infuse
more
it.
harm than good? I feel like my gut is just telling me, ouch.
Why?
I don't know.
Why
But I
not?
just feel like that's a bad
Paramedic
idea.
intern Kelsey, tell me why that
I don't
may
have
or
a
may not
good
be a bad
one.
thing.
Well, instead of giving a single barrel of the shotgun drug, they just gave 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So
I
what
just feel like that's such
what
a
do we
bad
know
idea.
about amiodarone? What kind of drug is it?
It's a potassium channel blocker.
And what is that going to do?
Well, technically it's a potassium channel blocker, but it technically has like all the properties of like all the Von Williams classes.
Yep. So what is it going to do ultimately? In the grand scheme of things.
Slow everything down.
Correct. It's going to slow the heart rate down. Right? And you just gave a shit ton of it
All at once.
all at once, right?
I
So,
think my gut was just telling me like, yikes.
yes. So, that's a good gut reaction. Primary medic then starts to see the heart rate begin to fall.
Weird.
Yeah,
Shocker.
right? First from 130 to 89, then to 61,
And now we need to pace.
then to 46.
Or do
Please
CPR.
tell me we didn't give atropine.
What?
I said, did we give atropine? Because that's just a waste of time. Just start pacing them.
Would you guys like to just read what I'm about to read? Because clearly you can't wait.
Go quicker.
I'm trying to have the conversation. You keep butting in to said conversation. So, Kelsey, the primary paramedic, grabs atropine and delivers 0.5 milligrams atropine through the IO.
But that's a waste of time.
You are absolutely correct. The heart rate continues to fall. Secondary medic.
At
then,
this point, they're in pharmacological overboard. Their body's not going to digest anything else. Just give them some electricity.
I'm not in disagreement. So the secondary medic has the smart, intelligent idea
Yeah,
to pace the patient.
And I'm just going to say, you know what? it's also worth a try. I mean, it's worth it. Just give it a shot.
Right.
It's not. I mean, I'm not saying don't pace, but why not? Just try the atropine. You might. It might work. It might not.
And
you know,
my thing with the atropine is, again, it may or may not work. I would be more okay with giving it in this situation if I was giving it straight IV. Because I'm giving it in the IO, it's going to take a while to get anywhere.
right?
You know, and by that time, you should already be pacing because it's not going to do a damn thing for you. So in this case, the secondary medic starts to pace the patient.
I have a question about amiodarone that I don't know the answer to.
This is why I can't get through these goddamn fucking stories. Yes, Kelsey.
It's a question.
Did you phrase it in the form of a question?
Yes. I said I have a question about amiodarone that I don't know the answer
wrong.
to.
You didn't say, so I have a
So
question.
I have a question. We're all going to need to take a walk after this one.
God, we really need to get her and Kyle in the same room.
Who's Kyle? Who's Kyle?
Shout out, Kyle. What's up?
The you of our paramedic class.
Oh,
Carry
great.
on.
Now I don't remember what it was.
All right, so the
Wow.
secondary paramedic begins to pace the patient. They pace this patient at 60 milliamps and a heart rate of 60. No mechanical capture was noted. Another dose of atropine is given by the primary paramedic, and the secondary medic increases the pacing energy to 80. But again, no capture. Palpable pulse is then checked. No pulse is present. Pacing's discontinued. CPR started once again.
Yeah.
With the Lucas set to continuous because they still have that advanced airway. So what do you guys, I'm pretty sure we hit all of these, so let's go through this really quick. What do you guys think about the sequence of those events? Do you kind of think it was like a knee-jerk reaction with the providers, and it was
Yeah.
kind of just like, oh my God, what's happening?
Yeah.
I don't think anybody took that step back and said, okay,
Why
let's
is this happening?
methodically, let's
300
go
of
through
AMI.
this.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Or before you give that, be like, what is this going to do?
Right.
Yeah.
Or like I said, every time there's it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's medicine, flying, whatever, driving a car. Whenever there's an incident or an accident, it's a chain of events leading up to it. It's never just one thing happened and that's it. So, follow it all the way back to, they got that order for the amiodarone. No one confirmed, what are we doing with it?
Right. Right.
That's the beginning of the
chain of events.
But
leading up to
even
where
think
we're
And
at.
I
about
think even going back further, not to cut you off, Em, but the fact that the primary medic who wanted the orders said, here, other person, you make the phone call and get me orders.
See,
that was, I think, the start of the cascade.
And it's funny. I mean, you want to talk about something where we always say, hey, we're always learning in this, right? And honestly, I've done that. I've delegated, hey,
So
get on the
have I.
phone, get me some orders for X, Y, and Z because I got my hands full.
Yep.
You know what? Thinking about it now, hearing this, and taking that step back and thinking about it long and hard. You know what? Yeah, I'm not going to do that anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of those things because you have no idea what conversation they had,
That's right.
what picture they painted,
Exactly.
Right.
Bingo.
what the
Exactly.
doctor actually gave them. Oh yeah, 300 of AMI. Okay, cool. How was
How?
it? I don't know.
Right.
He just said 300 of AMI. I don't know if they're lying, if they're making shit up.
What was it, PR?
No, right. No idea. And that's
Accurate.
Right. All right, it's a BLS skill. Get in there. Go deep on them.
that's when you take the nasal
Atomizer.
the atomizer and just blow it up there.
You know what's going to be funny? Someone's going to do that. It's going to work because of all the absorption in there. And it's going to
And
be
that's gonna be our
in the
protocol.
protocol.
I mean, that's the
Yeah.
way Valium used to be given.
Yeah.
I
All the
remember
time.
paramedics when I first started giving Valium up the butt.
Same.
Yep. But they didn't even have the atomizer because that wasn't a thing yet. They just used to take the syringe,
Yep, and put it up there.
uncapped, blow it up there, and it was just spraying liquid.
The old Valium bidet.
Yep. Yep.
Go!
So, Emily, what did you want to add on to that?
Calm
Since I
down and
rudely
make
cut
it
you
clean.
off.
Well, when you're thinking about it, though, like, okay, you know that you want XYZ orders. Why do you want them? So
Yes.
I know that I want amiodarone. Why do I want it? Does that fit into my why I want it? Too
Yeah.
much.
It's way too much.
Yeah.
I think the 150 may or may not have been good here. It still might have crashed.
And we don't know
the guy. Who
We
knows?
don't know if the doc actually gave clear orders.
Right.
He might just be assuming that they know he means 150 and 150 if you need it.
Right.
But hey, go ahead and 300. And,
But
and dude just went, hey,
right,
here you
300.
go.
Right.
But your goal is to clarify that.
Right, and that's the thing, and because we didn't, the primary paramedic who's managing the scene didn't get those orders,
right.
he doesn't know what the guy said.
He has no idea.
Or female said, whatever,
Yeah, it's 100%, I think, the start of the cascade of problems. Right? So getting back, the crew gives another 3 doses of Epi 1 to 10,000, right? Keeps going. We're just skipping time. A second dose of bicarb. They start a second IO in the left leg. After 20 minutes, they still had asystole on the monitor. Now the primary medic goes, all right, I'm calling for secure orders. Yes.
Thank you.
I yield time to Gerard.
Yes, thank you. Robert's rules. So my question. Did they indicate that they attempted a peripheral IV?
No.
Before going for the second IO?
Oh, and you called me management?
Damn!
I'm just saying.
Waste of money there.
Wow.
No,
Okay.
it was not indicated.
No, I'm just saying because for me, me, cardiac arrest, I understand everyone has, you gotta go for the IV. Okay, I go for the IO first. Just because I need to get shit going quick and just get it done and fast and dirty.
Yep.
But once it's going, I've kind of got a little lull, maybe between rhythm checks or something like that. I got enough fluid going in there now. Anything that was kind of flat, I should have something start popping up. That's when I look for a peripheral IV because now when I give those other medications, now they're going to get
more direct line.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's all. I was just curious if they just knee jerked into the second one or they actually looked and said, fuck it.
I have no information on where they even looked.
All right.
It's just they
drilled a second time.
They drilled a second time. So after 20 minutes, they still had asystole on the monitor. The primary medic then decides, this is it. I'm calling for secure orders. They call back medical control and they speak to the exact same doctor that the supervisor talked to before.
Yikes.
And asks for the secure orders. The medic, tells the updated story. And during that, the secondary medic looks over and sees a rhythm change.
Damn.
Back to...
I hate when that happens when you're on the phone with them and you're like, never mind.
I was like, damn, we got him back.
No, it's more like, damn, I look like an idiot.
Yeah,
Well,
like,
that's
shit,
true.
I should have waited 3 more seconds.
Be like,
Just
hold on,
kidding.
doc. JK, sorry.
I know how to do
20.
my job.
Right. So there's rhythm change.
LOL.
Back to sinus tach at a rate of 166.
Okay.
The crew runs another blood pressure. It's 102 over 50.
And we do have a pulse rate.
I was just going to say,
There
we did
is
verify.
there is a
Okay.
confirmed
Gotcha.
pulse. So now the crew says, we're not fucking around this time. Reeves is moved onto the stretcher and into the ambulance.
We're not fucking around. You did it the first time.
I don't know. Don't know. They're gonna move to the hospital.
Yep.
Another 1,000 bag of normal saline spiked and secured to now the second IO. So they're into they're well
Third
past.
leader.
Yeah. They're well past,
Okay.
the 2 liters. They're into their third. They probably still have the Levo running.
Okay.
Who knows? So
Me personally, I may have just let the Levo go and not go for the third bag.
Dependent on what their blood pressure is, if it keeps trending downward, increase your Levo. That's the other thing that they never do is increase
That's
the
just it.
Levo.
You have up to 20 mics, so
Right. At least in our area, you have 2 to 20. They're at 10.
Yeah.
A 12 lead is finally done by this crew.
It's the first one of the night.
It was warranted.
Okay.
was a grammar issue.
Shows a sinus rhythm.
Grammar police over here.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Sinus rhythm, no ST elevations, but there's ST depressions in literally everything. 1, 2, 3, AVF, V3, V4, V5, V6. So literally almost
Okay, but
everything.
isn't that an expected finding?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I
Yes.
don't care. I mean, like, relevant, but
Fuck you. I don't
She
give a
really doesn't
fuck.
care, ladies and gentlemen. She doesn't care.
that's not an indication for me. Like, that's not a fun
I'm not-
finding for me.
Right.
Right.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying what they find. So the crews begin priority transport to the cardiac center 30 miles away.
30 minutes.
Thank you. BP falls to 78/49. Heart rate 53, sinus Brady.
Is somebody standing on the levo?
No.
Are we still at 10?
Yes.
Up it.
Increase it?
Yeah.
We would love to.
Yeah.
Do they?
No.
They just watch it fall.
Yes. Yes, they do.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you could see Emily's face right now.
I disapprove. Let me just watch you die. Again.
She disapproves of this message.
I mean, would you like to hear what they do next?
Yeah.
I'm afraid.
Same.
Do you want to take a bet?
No, fuck it. Let's call it a day. Hey, we'll see you on the next episode, and that's it. You know,
Pew would be very upset.
next episode we'll have a wet bandage and
And
And a UTI.
Kelly and a UTI.
and no blood glucose done.
Actually, hint, I will hint this one. Become a Patreon now to hear the 5th episode on Patreon
Ooh.
Fuck.
because there will be a wet bandage.
Oh,
Um,
I quit. Kelly? Kelly,
She's not answering.
tag your it.
So, because of the bradycardia, what do they do, Em?
Atropine.
Bingo,
atropine, yeah.
bango, right? So they give another 0.5 milligrams of atropine. And
So I have a question.
yes,
Much better.
that is much better.
Sorry, I forgot my form for a minute there.
You were angry. It's okay. We all were.
Hey, don't get
So
it.
you know
wrong.
how you
She's
can
dropping F-bombs now.
You know how you can give up to 3 milligrams of atropine?
Mhm.
Do you have to tack on what you did before? So, like, they gave 0.5 before, so now
Yes.
you're technically up to 1.
Yes.
Technically, that was the 1.5.
I was going to say
Oh,
that's the
okay.
third dose.
Yeah.
So you have to continue. Okay.
Yeah, it's not like you give 3 and then they're still dead.
But,
you get
like,
them back and you can give another 3.
I didn't know if, you know,
Right,
like,
and you don't
they
even
died.
carry that much.
I was
I
just
didn't
gonna
know if
say,
they
yeah.
don't.
I don't know if it was those things, you know,
At least we don't.
they died, they came back, it's like a start over button.
No. Nope, it's a continuation button. So,
This patient is literally telling you that you're missing something and they just don't find it.
yes. Yes, they do.
Oh.
So,
Did you find it?
We'll have to listen.
yeah, they recheck a pulse and find that it's not there. Woo!
Ah.
So they find something. She just died again.
Back to work.
So yeah, he just died again. So the
Did they at
monitor,
least bring Lucas with them?
yes, the monitor is now showing PEA. To fast forward the story, Epi's given every 3 to 5 minutes until they reach the hospital. They arrive, unload him to the ER, still in cardiac arrest, still in PEA. From what I know, post getting to the ER, they ultimately don't make it out of the hospital.
Shocker.
Yes, shocker. So there's a lot to dissect in this call. Where do you think is the primary pitfall, Em, since I feel like you're the most angry at this call?
I feel like it's just clear communication.
Okay, how so?
If you want the orders, you listen for them. You get good clarification so you know exactly what you're doing.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah, I'd agree. No, and
I think 300 of Amy was our
I
downfall.
mean, yeah, I mean, for me,
But that started with somebody else is getting the orders. Somebody else listened to it. We have no idea what was said.
right.
I also don't, I feel like they didn't really go through their H's and T's. So you're fighting a battle that you don't know what you're fighting yet.
Right. I also think, I think my primary pitfall going off in a different direction was the knee-jerking reaction to all of the symptoms, right? There wasn't, okay, why are they braiding down?
Right.
Why is this happening? What am I going to do about it? Oh, okay, I'm going to throw another atropine. We know that's not going to work. Why aren't we trying pacing? Okay, pacing's not working. Why aren't we increasing the milliamps until we actually can pace? Is this going to make it better? Right? I think
They're
there
too
was
reactive.
I think there was a lot of, see, scramble, try something, and hope it sticks. You know?
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I just think this illustrates that, you know, the controlled chaos that, you know, a cardiac arrest is, especially when you start adding. I think, honestly, man, just from the way it sounds, it sounds like they had way too many people here.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have seen
cooks
this.
in the kitchen.
I think a second crew, that's it. I'm good. Everybody else, out.
Yes.
You know?
Yep.
Supervisor, hey, go supervise something.
Well, and
Go
that's
talk
it.
to the family.
Nobody.
Yeah, go get me demographics and patient history.
Nothing was ever reported to me that there was history taken or meds or allergies or nothing.
Right.
So I can, you know, I don't think there was. Who knows?
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I think it just became so chaotic that, you know, they were bound to paint themselves into a corner.
Yes.
You know, you got so many people in there, so many people doing, you know, different tasks. I mean, it's
and ultimately
it got out of control.
And ultimately it falls on that primary paramedic who's supposed to be scoping out the bigger picture. And I don't think that paramedic really honed in on the bigger picture.
I think it might have even been information overloaded. I mean, for lack of a better term, where I think they were trying to herd the cats, but there was just so many different things coming in different directions in, you know, different ways. It's like, I think they just kind of, you know, did the best they could, but you know, it was just too much.
Yeah.
Like I said, again, stemming from just way too many people, you know.
I don't disagree. I think
I don't either.
I think this was definitely the too many cooks, you know, status paramedicus. You know, I mean, you're looking at almost 6 providers working on one patient in a bedroom.
Yeah, no.
You know, and a doctor thrown in there.
Did we ever find the vomit?
Stepping over each other.
Right.
You know, I mean.
No, it was not reported where the vomit was. Hopefully in a bucket
Primary
somewhere.
concern number 1 for me.
I mean,
Maybe
it
he
could have
was in
been
the
under the
bathroom and he
patient. Who
made it
knows?
back.
Yeah, who knows? But Kelsey, as a paramedic student, what are you looking at as the greatest takeaway in this?
I'm still shocked about this Amy thing. Like, I don't know why that one just stuck in my head.
But I mean, it's a good thing to get stuck in your head as we're, you know, you always want to confirm, like, okay, hey, this was the order given, or hey, this is my protocol, but I'm pulling out this. Is it the right thing? Is it the right dose? Am I pulling up the right amount? Am I going to give it? Hey, I'm gonna pull it up, but I'm going to give it to another provider, and I'm gonna say, hey, give this amount.
And and nobody there actually stopped and
thought about it.
Yeah, and said, wait a minute, we're post ROSC. Why are we giving 300?
So my thing is you guys always just talk about like your spidey senses that, you know, eventually one day you're going to develop.
Yep.
You're like, yeah, 300 of Amy, and they're just going to push it. And I'm like, wow, like they're just, my gut reaction is like, that is the worst idea. Like, I could not give you a reason at that moment in time, but in my head I was like, that's just the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And like,
but it's
I
true.
don't have
Ever?
No, not
Ever.
I was just about to say something really awful that I can't actually say.
Go ahead.
No, because you can't.
Let your feelings flow to the dark side.
So no, not the dumbest thing I've ever heard, but knowing halfway only, I can't even say I don't know anything anymore. That's unfortunate. I know like half of nothing. And even knowing half of nothing, I knew that was wrong.
Yep.
And how many people did it go through and nobody thought to be like, 300
But is that because they're just going and they're like, oh, post-arrest, like,
But
steps instead of actually thinking about what is this medication going to do to this patient? Why am I giving this?
But even
I
if your
think it
gut
could be-
reaction is like, wow, that is a lot of Amy, even taking the 5 seconds to be like,
But you again, looking at it in hindsight, you're not in the shit, you know, dealing with all the crap that's going on around you.
I mean,
And at the end of the day, everyone's a human being.
you're not dying. It's not your emergency.
I get that, but
even though
it's chaotic,
right,
you know, even though in some sometimes it runs so smooth, but in that smoothness, there's a lot of chaos. There's a lot of shit that goes on that, you know, people make mistakes.
we're all human.
It's called human error,
Right.
You know, I mean, it's just the way it is.
You know,
This is one of those cases where, you know, there was just a chain of events that led up to, you know, a mistake being made.
yeah.
It's not where somebody was malicious and said, hey, I'm going to do this, or, somebody was just a complete fucking retard and said, hey, 300 ammo, let's fucking shut it. No, they thought they had orders in hand. Doctor said, do this, I'm going to do this. There was a miscommunication somewhere, and they did the wrong thing.
Right.
That's just true, too. Like, when you throw in doctor said.
Yeah.
Doctor said has a lot of fucking weight to it.
It does. It really does. Because at that point, the provider is going, well, the doctor wants. The doctor said. I don't have to think. Doctor said. So this is just what they did.
And like what we were just talking about before with the other stuff, with the drips and stuff. Yeah, I mean, doctor says do this. And if I'm, a paramedic that has a decent skill level and says, oh, I can handle that, and doctor wants that, so that's what I will do.
Doctor says I do.
Even though doctor may be fucking, completely goddamn wrong.
Right.
Or
I can totally see both sides of this. I definitely think there was, a chain of events that happened. I think there was a lot of human error and not looking at that global picture, because, in that chaos, people tend to get very pigeon-toed and, tunnel visioned into one task, right?
And do we know what, everyone else was doing? I mean, remember.
I hope that new EMT was kicking butt at Airway.
What I'm saying is remember, there's a whole bunch of other people in there, in this room, right? We're talking firemen. We're talking, supervisors,
probably
extra
police.
Crews, things like that. We're just looking at, the med administration side of it, and the management side of it. People are thinking about extricating. They're getting things out of the way. They're moving things. Things are, this is a moving thing. There's all kinds of shit going on around. So, could something get lost in the mix? Yeah.
Yep.
Could somebody hear something from one person, hear something from another person, and just get completely
really bad game of telephone
backwards? Yeah. And it literally sounds like what this was.
And that's, I think it all goes back to that primary paramedic not picking up the phone themselves and going, I'm calling the doc, secondary paramedic, while I'm out, you run the show until I'm back in.
Right. And it goes, it's an old saying, when you're in command.
Yes. And I don't think there was a lot of that. I think, maybe this...
Too much delegation, maybe, yeah.
Or I think maybe this primary paramedic was, again, focused on drawing up meds and being in their bag and giving it to this person and telling this person to do something, and they weren't really just, what's the monitor doing, what's the scene doing?
Right.
And I think that's where that disconnect was.
300 ammo. Okay, what are we doing with it?
Right. I definitely think that there's a lot of things where a lot of people could look at this and go, well, there's 800 things that they could have done better. And it's why we review really good calls and really not so good calls. Because there's always ways to improve looking back on calls.
Some people mess up at work and they forget to send an email. Wow.
Yeah, well.
It must be an easy life.
That is true.
Stressful
Wouldn't that
in its own way.
Seriously, especially if it's like a not safe for work email.
Stressful in its own way. I don't judge people's careers.
You feel like you want to say something.
I do, but I don't want to make you edit anymore.
Okay. So, yeah.
Wow, just agreed with that. Okay, fuck you.
Shut your mouth.
Shut your mouth.
I'm just moving it along, that's all.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
We're really sorry to all those who suffered with us tonight.
Right.
No, we're not. The Punisher
I worked
agrees.
all day, man. I've been up since 4 a.m.
Worked all night.
All right, I have to end the madness. All right, till next time, guys. Stay safe. Have a Merry Christmas. If you're not on Patreon, get there. You can listen to one more episode before Christmas.
Or
Merry
whatever
Christmas,
holiday
Happy
you
Hanukkah.
celebrate.
What? Wait. There are all kinds of loud noises going on.
I know. They're singing. I'm trying to wish everybody a Merry Holiday, and they're just, I don't know. End it. Just say donuts already.
Festive ones.
Yuletide donuts.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you'd like more information on the podcast or to send us a call to review, visit medicmaterials.com/podcast. To learn more information, like us on Facebook at Medic Materials EDU, or watch our weekly instructional videos on the Medic Materials YouTube channel.